And what's going on, you bastards? Welcome back to another Great Summoners video, where today we're going to be taking a little look-see at Fern. Fern's been a little controversial, I guess you could say. I don't have the SPR. I don't know if honestly, I don't really care about the SPR. It's this batch around. They're great, like, animation quality-wise, but just not my cup of tea. But we're gonna be looking at Fern and her capabilities. She has a little bit of controversy surrounding her, where she's kind of a one-trick pony that's mostly this right here, her true arts. It's either you just spam her arts and super arts, or you're just a true art Andy, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, this resets if you use anything else besides the true arts, which is unfortunate. And her skill is very good. That's why I went, well, if I could get a crit rate up, that'd be pretty good instead of crit damage. But I didn't want to really use any flux or anything like that. It's kind of why this video took a little bit. I'm trying to get the crests and stuff like that out. But this can help her generate arts and whatnot, but, you know, because she doesn't do that herself. So we're first going off against the Cinder Plume Nova Crest Palace stage. This is a fairly difficult stage, but Mono Water is really, like, insanely strong right now, and this stage gets its ass blasted with all these new water units that we're getting, right? So I thought this was a good challenging stage to test Fern on. I'm using Holy Knight Roy and a Hoka. I'm using Roy. Even though he busts physical damage, I'm using Roy because he is great at super arts. He was pretty much here for the super arts spam, the arts gen. Hoka's just overall a nutty support. Like, I use some other supports in some testing, and Hoka is actually just him, man. And beta, if you don't have beta for Fern, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a detriment because the beta. First off, positionally, you know, the unit to her left gets more damage, and then I have her on the left of Fern on the left of Beta, and plus, you know, the arts gen, just like another magic water unit. Beta's true arts, or yeah, her super arts could help lower. I think it lowers enemies' magic resistance or something like that, and, you know, shielding, healing, all that stuff that Fern herself does not really do. I also ran through this with Summer Ilia instead of Holy Knight Roy. I mean, using Summer Ilia does make more sense. She does assist with what does she do actually? Well, on her art, she could reduce evasion, but that wasn't really a thing here. Heals all allies burned, and for 45 seconds, increase all allies water damage by 100% burn resistance. And then on her super art, she kind of just does her art scales off how many times she super arts and stuff like that. But she does help increase water damage, which you know, Fern is water damage DPS, so she definitely helps out here. I don't remember all these characters' kits off the top of my head. All right, while we got the free practice in the background, right? We did a couple rounds of the free practice, and I always keep forgetting to look at OBS. I hate having the top of the screen cut off during the gameplay. It annoys me so much. But anyways, we're gonna talk about Fern's kit. I'm gonna put it up on screen for a little bit here. We do this a couple times with different team comps, right? So on her skill, it's a 14-second CT, 2000% water damage magic if used when above 80% HP. Increase own arts by 50. Additionally, if own skill crits, increase own arts by an additional 50. So I wonder, actually reading that, say you're below 80% HP, but you do crit on the skill, do you get the 50? Just like that second half of the 50? Probably not. But yeah, just some wondering. So you got to stay healthy, and it would help, like I was talking about earlier, if you had the crit rate up, but I don't know if getting that crest would be a selling point. She does, well, we'll talk about it later in her kit. Increase all allies' arts by 20 on her arts. For 30 seconds, increase all allies' damage resistance by 30%. I sometimes whip that out immediately, right? So if my team is a little bit slow at starting, like they need a couple super arts to get everything going, like the arts gen, get the ball rolling and whatnot, I might whip that out before I just true art spam on Fern, because Fern, she does need, it does help also with the arts gen, but getting that damage resistance is also pretty dope. And then the true arts, you know, we know what the true arts is, right? So here's the end of the first Fern one, right? With Hoka and Summer Ilya. We're always going to use Beta in here because Beta is pretty much her best friend right here. So like over 1.5 billion damage, utterly insane. I tried this other team too with Melty and Summer Juno. I don't think Melty was the best call, but Summer Juno, yeah, I guess you could. But anyway, True Arts, this is where Fern spams, and every time you spam it, you do 70,000% multiplier up to 350,000 damage. So, and if you interrupt it, that's when it resets and you start back at the 70,000. It goes up of increments of 70,000 up to 350,000. So 5 times you use that. Super R, it's 120,000% water damage magic for 60 seconds. Reduce enemies' water resistance with respect to how high own current HP is. Max 150%. So I guess like I don't know, with her as a whole, like, is there gonna be fights? Like, you can true arts with her like a couple times, because I guess if you do her true arts 2 times, that's a higher multiplier than her actual super arts is, but you don't get the water reduction, water resistance reduction, whatever. And that's for 60 seconds. That's a very long time. So I don't know if you want to start the fight with an arts, right? The damage resistance and increase allies arts by 20 per second, and then do super arts to kind of get that lower the enemy's water resistance. And then you start going into true arts. That's a lot of arts to dedicate to doing that. That's 400 arts. And before you can even spam your true arts. So I don't know. I guess it's situational and whatnot. And then her passive, when own HP is 80% or higher, increase own super crit rate by 30%. When own HP is 50% or higher, increase own crit rate by 100%. Does not stack with abilities of the same name. So that's what I was kind of talking about. Like, for her skill, I don't think you'd even need that crest, like the crit rate up. So crit rate or crit damage up would definitely be the better right there. And then increase all allies BE by 10%, and then increase damage to demons by 50%. In this last run, I did Aristella Orbis, and I used Miku. I haven't used Miku in a long ass time. She's definitely dated. But Aristella Orbis probably would be one of the better units to run with Fern and Beta. But yeah, the damage on this one, I give up during some of this run because I'm just like, man, we're not even at half a million yet. This is rough. And like the run we just did, we ended up doing like 33% damage less. We're barely over a billion. And that kind of shows how nasty that Hoka is. We were also using, who the hell were we using also in that run? Were we using, oh yeah, we're using Summer Ilya. So Ilya definitely helped. But Hoka is just that much of a beast of a support unit. And last but not least, we are doing the Specs Hyper stage of the Fern crossover part 1. In summary, Fern is an insane DPS. There's definitely no if and or buts about that. But that's pretty much, I say but, that's pretty much all that she can do, right? Because if you, I don't know, you can mix it up, I guess. Like I was saying earlier, you can do a couple true arts, throw in the arts or super arts there. It'll kind of reset your damage. Or I don't know, you have to stick to the true arts, or just, I don't know, be a little arts genning water resistance reducing bot. Like, you know, you only do your arts and then super arts, and then maybe go back and forth between that. But then I feel like you're missing kind of the point of what Fern is, which is a DPS character. Like a, I don't know, would you say she's like a hyper DPS carry or something like that? Anyways, if you missed out on Hoka, on Beta, and whatever like flex unit out there throughout the Ascended Age or whatnot, you might have a tough time actually using Fern. Because Fern, you want, if say you use her, you keep her on DPS duty, you have to build everything else the team is really lacking with the 3 other units. Which Beta, Hoka, and I don't know. I use Holy Knight Roy again. Just whatever flex unit you have there has to make up all the difference. But Fern will churn out that damage in return. So she's interesting to use. Like, not every unit can just like in all cases be good. She is HP dependent as well. So you got to keep her healthy. Because if not, she would definitely lose a good amount of effectiveness. And I kind of noticed that we didn't even fight any demons in this to see the demon damage, but it is what it is. But I don't know. I like Fern. I'm not super crazy on her, but I like her. And she definitely is a scary good DPS unit, but that's kind of all she is. But anyway, bastards, let me know what you think about Fern in the comments down below. And I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.
But first, hi there. If you liked what you saw, thank you.